Welcome back, you guys. I hope you are excited for today's video because today's video is going to be about the new collection from Lethal Cosmetics. We have the Conjuring collection, or at least two pieces of it here. I only picked up the eyeshadow palette and the highlighter palette, but I did do two looks with it. I spent the last 2 days reviewing these pieces, and in today's video I am going to show you both of the looks that I created, and then at the end I'm going to tell you whether or not I would repurchase this or pass, knowing what I know now. I already have those thoughts and I'm excited to share them with you, so let's go ahead and get into it. If this is your first time here, my name is Heather and I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you happen to love those things too, I really hope you will stick around, subscribe. I would love to see you down below in the comments. Especially, I want to hear your thoughts about this collection. Let me know if you passed or if you picked it up. And if you did, what are your thoughts on it? So, as I said, this is a large collection full of tons of pieces. And you can buy them all in a bundle for $273. I could not drop that much money on a collection right now. There are so many launches going on, and I do like to try to pick up as many as I possibly can. So that is why I did decide to just pick up two of the pieces that I was the most excited for in this one. But you can also get another bundle that retails for $63.50. So that actually includes the primer, the powder, and the highlighter for $63. I will have all of these bundles and everything listed down below in the description box, because they also came out with some really cool eyeliner pens that have stamps on the end of them. You have two lipsticks that are really nice as well. There's a blood drop. There's a bunch of nail polishes. Like I said, this is a very large collection. So, as for what I picked up, I could not pass on the highlight because I love the Lethal Cosmetics highlighter formula. My favorite is the one I'm actually wearing today, which is the one from the Dexter collection. It is one of the best liquid highlighters I have ever used. Best highlighter ever. And I love it so much. Well, one of the best. I have other favorites as well, but I could not recommend it more. But in this collection, we have the Music Box highlighter. The packaging on this is really cool as well. And this retails for $24 US. And I really love the shifts and everything in this. It's like a champagne peachy duochrome, and it's really stunning, and it looks very silky smooth on the skin. You'll be able to see it in action in look number 1, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. I was so excited to see that they were coming out with another highlighter, and honestly, this highlighter is what made me want to pick up parts of this collection and review it, because I love the Dexter highlight so much. It's iconic. And then we have the Conjuring palette that has the really cool lenticular motion packaging that I think is awesome. But this is a 12-pan palette, and in this one you have 4 shimmer shades and the rest are all mattes. So you have 8 mattes and 4 shimmers. 3 of the shimmers are metallics, and then you also have like a holographic, I think it's a multi-chrome. It doesn't exactly say on the website, but it looks to be a multi-chrome to me. But it's like a mix of blues and neutrals, and you have a purple and a light pastel pink in here as well. And this one retails for $59 US. And I will say, if you're interested in picking any of this up, they have free shipping on their site for if you spend $120, but they also ship from the US now as well, so you don't get charged for the tariffs either if you are in the US and you were concerned about that. I know I was, but I will have all of the information for this collection down below, but now we have to get into it. You guys, you know how much I love that Dexter highlight, so I am so excited for the Conjuring one. I mean, they are two different formulas, but I do have high hopes for this one. And I hope that it turns out to be as great as the Dexter. I will say I do really love the color as well. So my face is set pretty much. I did use a setting spray after I set everything to try to, you know, soften it a little. I also think it helps the highlight kind of melt into the skin a little better. I do like to use my finger and kind of tap it on. I just think that powder highlights tend to look better over top of creams. They just stick better, and when you set your cheeks, it really doesn't give them much to adhere to. But where I used the Gothic Romance palette, there was no way to avoid it. But I love that blush palette so much. I think it's so beautiful. And this highlight is really beautiful as well. It's got a gorgeous undertone. Look how like glossy and wet looking that is. That is such a gorgeous highlight. Now I do like a lot of highlights, so it might be a bit too much for some, but definitely not for me. But I am gonna take a little more blush and kind of just go back over the cheeks a little. Helps it all like blend together very nicely. Now we're going to dip into the eyes. I'm excited to play with this palette because the Dexter palette was one of my favorite launches last year, and I hope that this one makes me just as excited as that one did. But I am using my Sigma eyeshadow base in the shade Persuade to prime. I got up way too early this morning and it's still 7 o'clock at night. I got up at 7 o'clock this morning, so I'm like half asleep, but this highlighter is really giving me life today. I cannot. It's so beautiful and glossy, and I'm really excited for this eye look. I will say this palette is very neutral for me to be a favorite, so I'm excited to see like how I end up feeling about it. So where do we even start? Let's start actually. I want to see what this shade Holy Night looks like in the inner corner. Let's try that first. So starting with the Singe Beauty E01, I want to pack this here in the inner corner. It might be, I mean, it is giving brightness for sure. And it's not even on a white base, so that's a pretty good, like very light pastel pink, honestly. I think I'm going to use this shade, Oppression, and then we'll move up to this deeper shade here. Start out with a lot of neutrals. So going to Oppression with an E06, I'm going to press this throughout the crease. I could do an all colorful look and just do like the blues and the purple, but I thought about it too, but decided to do something that might be a little out of my comfort zone, even though it is probably a go-to color for most people, which is the neutrals with a pop of color. I'm going to switch over to an E03, a larger blending brush, so I can really just blow this out, take this color up. There is a lighter shade. I'm debating on if I really want to use it. I might need to, because this shade is kind of dark. So using the E03, I'm going to dip into the shade Salem. And I'm just basically using that to blend around that situation. And then we'll go in with an E08. I love this brush as well. It's like the fluffier version of the E06. And go back into oppression with this one. I'm excited. My Singe Beauty package will be here Thursday. I did already place an order for one of the bundle deals for the lip liners because I've bought almost every single recommendation that Angelica's ever given on a lip liner, and I've loved them. Not even just loved them, they've become like favorites, holy grail favorites. So I really have a hard time believing I'm not gonna like the Singe Beauty lip liners. So I went ahead and picked up another bundle, including the ones I got in PR. So if I love them, I might like let myself pick up another, like the other 3 next month. But I am so excited to get that stuff in my hands in the collection. It's just so freaking pretty. Going back into Holy Light, which is that really light pink. I'm just gonna dust this around here. I also want to use an E04 and take oppression down here along the lower lash line. Okay, so now I'm going to deepen this up even more using the shade Infestation and an E06 from Singe. And I'm really just going to focus this out here in the outer corner more than anything, just to deepen this up. So far these mattes do feel really nice, really good, like the normal Lethal matte formula. I also got Betty Jean's collab in today, and I'm so excited to get into that. The Witch is Familiar. I'm using an E25 to pack this into the outer corner, trying to get the most depth and make sure it all kind of like wings out. And I'll also use my little pencil brush, the E11, to do the same down here. Okay, so I just use like a flat brush and some more primer and just kind of cut the crease. And now we're going to go in with the next matte shade, and I'm excited for this one too. So I'm going to use another E25, and we're going to dip into Conduit, which, you know, I had to bring some color in here somewhere. So I'm going to focus this starting out here in the outer corner. Kind of want it to be a bit at an angle, and I'm thinking I'll do like liner with it after I put shimmers down too. I thought it could look really cool, but I'm also gonna blend this over on the lid just a little, just to give the shimmers this purple color base, more wine. I'm also going to use an E07 and use that same shade down here to line as well. Just smudge this under the lower lash line and just follow that line out here to create that wing. And then I'll use that E01 that has that pastel pink to like slightly blend this right here in the front half. And then the E04 has the neutral. Okay, so now I'm excited because we're going to dip into shimmers, and I'm going to start with my Shine On from Cleona. And before I do that, I'm actually putting some of this on the back of my hand, I do want to go in with some more of that pastel pink and just tap this here on the lid, because I might just leave that inner part pastel and matte. Okay, so the shade I absolutely have to use, no one is probably surprised by, is the shade Clairvoyant, which is the holochrome in this palette. And it is beautiful. This shade would be so gorgeous with the blues as well. Even like with a neutral crease and this gray in the inner corner, it would be really pretty because it does have like a gray base in a way, and I think it would be stunning. But I want it all over the lid. I love that. And then I'll take some of the pastel pink kind of over the edge and just blend the two together. I really have to use a brush now because I have the pointy nails, my stilettos. But this makes me so happy. That one shade just brings this whole look together in such a fun way, I think. So I'm going to use an E27 from Sigma with some more of that deep shade and just use this right here on the edge. Yeah, that's really cool. I told you guys I was reading The Ever King. Well, I finally finished it, and now I'm reading The Ever Queen. I'm on like chapter 24, and I wish they would hurry up, you know. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's taking forever. I don't think I have a wet liner that's quite this color. It'd be cool if Diverton came out with one. I don't know if they already have had one and I might have missed it. That's always a possibility. Because I missed the wet liners that came out with Gloomy Garden, and I missed their first launch. But this is really cool. So it's been a few hours since I filmed this look, so it's safe to say it's holding up very nicely, and I do think it turned out so beautifully. I love the like winged smoked outliner situation. I feel like that added the perfect amount of fun to the look that I really wanted and needed, and I love it so far. So I really don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Probably something with the blues, because I've pretty much used all of the other shades. Maybe something with the blues and the more like neutral shimmers. I don't know. But I am excited to get into it. But before we do that, I used the ColourPop liner in the shade Charmer. This one's a bit dried out. I do need to get another one. And I also used the Bad Gal Bang mascara and the Bright Lashes in the style Flare, which just so happened to be one of my favorites, and I love them so much. But I will have all of these products linked down below. Let me know what you guys think of this look, and let's go ahead and move on to look number 2. I am ready for look number 2. So I didn't use the Music Box highlighter this time. I used my Dexter highlight, which you guys know is one of my all-time favorite highlighters, especially in liquid form. So I thought it was kind of fitting to use it for this video. But for eyes, I prepped, already primed. I used the Sigma eyeshadow base in Persuade on the outer part, and on the inner corner I used Color and Cover from Diverton Cosmetics. But I am excited. Today I'm going to be playing with mostly the blues, maybe some of the neutrals as well. And we're just going to see how it goes. But I am excited to create this look. And we're going to start out. Let's actually start out with this shade here. This blue, Demonology. And I'm doing that on a E06 from Singe. And I'm going to take this all the way throughout the crease. I am going to use like this light gray here for the inner corner, which is why I wanted to let this be like really light in the inner corner, so it would really like pop and show up there. But before I do that, oh, I just went into that color because I was talking about it. But before I do that, I do want to get this base shade down first and just work on blending it out. So I also noticed today that Cosmic Brushes changed their logo, or Cosmic Beauty. I always call them the wrong thing. It's so hard to change their name in my brain, but I'm excited to see what they're coming out with as well. There's so many good launches coming. I'm so excited about the Diver In launch. I don't know what it is yet, but it is on its way to me. And you guys know they're one of my favorite brands of all time. I cannot wait to see what that is. I'm so excited about it. I think it's going to be so good. Their Halloween launch last year did not disappoint. So I switched over to an E03 and just using this to fluff this out. Okay, so I'm going to use an E04 to run some of that same shade down here on the lower lash line. I'm really excited about this look because I love blue eye looks, and I think this one is going to be a fun like mix of blue and neutrals. But instead of doing neutral with a pop of blue, we're doing blue with a pop of neutral, which is a nice change. Okay, so using an E01, we're going into the gray here called Occult Museum. And I'm just gonna pack this here on the inner corner and up in like the inner part of the eye look, and use it to kind of blend out down here in the bottom as well. Now, what do I want to do? I think I want to actually deepen this up with this shade, Infestation. I used it yesterday. So I'm going to use an E27 from Sigma. This is a E25, not an E27. But I'm going to start working this out here in the outer corner. And we're going to start making this a little more neutral. Honestly, I do think that shimmer would be pretty with this eye look too, and maybe give you like a little twist from what I did yesterday, but I decided to not go with that and to try to get as many like looks out of this palette as possible. I'm going to run a little bit of that same color down here on the lower lash line as well, just to smoke this out a little. But I do want to add some blue back in and use the deeper blue, so that is what we're going in with next. It's this shade up here in the top of the palette. And what do I want to use? Let's use the E27 from Sigma. And I'll press this out here in the outer corner. Bring some of that blue a little back in. And I'll also use an E07 to add just a little bit of this out here. Just follow it very close to the waterline. Like this matte situation is pulling a lot more blue, but putting that blue on top of that brown kind of made it its deepest, darkest version, which is what I really wanted for this eye look. But now we gotta get into the shimmers. Using my Cliona eyeshadow primer, just putting some of this on the lid. But here's where things will pretty much take a neutral turn, because I will be dipping into the more neutral shimmers. Most of the shimmers, well, all of the shimmers in this palette, with the exception of the one I used yesterday, are all neutral colors. They're all like different versions of like brown neutrals. This one maybe not full on. It has like a slight, very like cool tone purple hue to it. But the one I want to use mostly in this look is this shade, the Curse. It's like a really pretty, like rich chocolate brown type of color, and I like it. And I think with the blue crease, it could be really pretty. Then I'm going to take my E01 again and go back into that gray and pack this here in the inner corner. And then I'll use a clean E01 to pick up some of this shade. It's kind of like a lighter champagne, and I'm gonna put that on the edge of this neutral. I am back with the finished look, and if I'm gonna do a blue eye look with neutral, this is how I want it done. I love this so much. I think it's so pretty. I might even like this even more than what I did yesterday's look, but I can't wait to hear what you guys think of both of them, honestly. So for liner, I used Exit from ColourPop, and then I went over it with blue from Glisten Cosmetics. And for mascara, I did the same thing I did yesterday, which was the Bad Gal Bang, and then went in with the Bright Lashes in the style Flare, which I love so much. These are like one of my favorite styles that they had, and I'm so sad that they're discontinued, but I'm happy that I do have a whole drawer full of Bright Lashes, so I'm still going to be getting tons of use out of those before I'm done with them. But let's talk about the things I picked up from this collection, which are just the eyeshadow palette and the highlighter. So I love the Lethal highlights that I've tried so far. They have been fantastic, and I think the Dexter one is probably still my favorite. It's going to take a lot to beat that one out, but I do think this one is really beautiful. I was so excited when I swatched it. I knew it was going to be good, and I do think it's really nice. I do like it. I am very happy that I picked it up. No regrets whatsoever. And if you're into like this color, I think you will like it as well. It's very fine and very like high impact, shifty. Well, you saw it on the face yesterday. I think it's gorgeous. And then we have the palette. The packaging on this is really, really cool as well. And I will say, the formulas in this are fantastic. I've used every shade in this palette except for this shade down here, the Shimmer. But with that being said, all of these do feel like the really good Lethal Cosmetics formula that I'm used to. The shimmers, I think this one might, no. I was going to say it might be a duo, but I don't think it is. It looks to be a metallic. So you have like 3 metallic shimmers in here and 1 like holographic multi-chrome, which is really stunning. But all in all, I think if you like this color story, you will love the palette because it does deliver beautiful looks. I had a really easy time creating these looks. Now, going off of that alone, I do feel like I could recommend the palette, but I will be honest, for me this one fell a little flat. When it comes to the color story, it's just not my favorite, but I knew what it looked like when I bought it, you know, and I picked it up anyway, so that's on me. I just love Lethal, and I love the whole IP and concept behind this collection, so I did want to pick it up anyways, but it is not my favorite color story. And had this been like any other release from anyone else and not have been The Conjuring, I probably would not have picked it up, if I'm being honest. But with that being said, if you do like the color story, it is fabulous quality, and I think you will like it. But I always want to keep it 100% with you guys. And with that being said, we have made it to the end. This was a very fun video, and I did have fun creating the looks that I did with these. They were very safe looks for me, though, I will say that, but both turned out to be really beautiful, and I do think this one is my favorite. I love like the neutral champagne gold lid. I think it's really pretty, especially with this really gorgeous like muted blue crease. But you're gonna have to let me know which look was your favorite and if you picked this up or not. If so, what are your thoughts on it? I would love to hear from you down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And until next time, bye.